Good evening and welcome to November 17th edition of EastCast. I'm Tejal Patel with Karen Elcast and sportscaster Randy Saperstone to bring you the Spirit Week edition of the news. Last Saturday was Senior Day of East Varsity football game. Senior Day is a day designated to honor the seniors of the football team, its managers, the marching band, and the cheerleaders for all of their efforts on and off the field. Also honored are the parents of the seniors who have sacrificed much of their time in support of their students' extracurricular activities. We also add our thanks to all of the seniors and their parents. Recently, several East students' work was featured in the international poetry publication Portals. Ann Lim, Pong Van, Nancy Coven, Jairi Chong, and Karen Chawla all had their works in East's award-winning Passport magazine. Mr. Burgess, the advisor of Passport, met the publisher of Portals at a poetry conference and showed him East's Passport magazine. The publisher was thrilled with the work and requested several items to include in the international magazine. Congratulations to these talented poets. Now over to Karen.
Thank you, Tejal. Another East student has also been rewarded for her writing talent. Lisa Taylor, editor of East Yearbook and co-president of EastCast, won a fiction writing contest held by Sassy Magazine. Her story, When the Ice Cream Man Dies, is a touching story of two children growing up together and coming of age. Lisa entered the Sassy contest after her work appeared in last year's Passport publication at East. Besides having her story appear in the December issue, on your newsstands now, Lisa also received a $1,000 wardrobe from LA Gear. Last week, the humanities class here at East traveled to Princeton University to hear and question three Princeton professors. The class, taught by Mr. Carr, Mrs. McDonnell, and Mr. Haynes, offers students a chance to learn about non-Western cultures through art, literature, music, dance, and religion, as well as using guest speakers and field trips to local institutions to help them understand the various cultures. The class had just completed a unit on the Middle East and after a brief tour of the Princeton campus, met with three professors from the Middle Eastern Studies Department. Helen Istandari spoke of the gains and setbacks of women in Iran over the past 5 decades. Professor Hangulu spoke of the difficulty of looking at Middle East from a Eurocentric position. And Carl Brown discussed the events leading to the recent peace talks between the Palestinians and the Israelis. The class was given an opportunity to question the speakers about their views and came back to East with a new perspective of the events and an idea of what Princeton University might be like as a student. In the next 2 weeks, the class will be hosting a professor from the University of Pennsylvania Archaeology Department and a woman who's worked in Tanzania as a nurse. And now to Tejal.
The kickoff dance for Spirit Week was held on November 12th from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. in the DeBart Gym. The freshmen won the points for best attendance at the dance. Juniors and seniors will compete on Friday for first place in the dance competition. Sophomores placed third and freshmen fourth. On Sunday, November 14th, the Cougar relays were held on the East Field at 2 p.m. The events include the jelly bean search, the mattress carry, blindfolded quarterback, two-man potato sack, water bucket fill, three-legged soccer kick, dizzy Izzy, and applesauce through a straw. Seniors took first place, followed by juniors in second, freshmen in third, and sophomores in fourth. On Monday, November 15th, the Cougar Hunt began. It was throughout the school. Students competed in the Twister competition during lunch periods. The juniors have accumulated the most points at the time of this newscast.
Yesterday, the class booth contest was held in the cafeteria. Each class constructed a booth on Sunday and Monday and decorated them based upon this year's homecoming theme. Each class also constructed a game that can be played during lunch periods. The booths were judged on Tuesday, November 16th at 7 o'clock a.m. Joan Cohen is currently a sign language interpreter at our school. She trained at Philadelphia Community College and graduated in 1982. At first, she worked in the mental health field, but most currently, she interpreted for Mrs. Clinton at Garden State Racetrack. There, she had an opportunity to meet Mrs. Clinton, Governor Florio, and Mrs. Florio. Mrs. Cohen also works with East students to sign special presentations, such as Fiddler on the Roof and Into the Woods. She signed for Beverly Sills for the Star Forum and will sign for Mario Como and for the Spring Musical. And now for the latest in sports with Randy Saperson. Take it away, Randy.
East played its next-to-last football game of the season last Saturday, defeating Eastern 40-14. Scott Pueller had an outstanding day, scoring 3 touchdowns, including a 72-yard bomb by quarterback Ben Steinberg. Pueller also shined on defense, intercepting a pass to stop Eastern's drive. This win raised East's record to 6-2, and although they did not make the playoffs, they had an outstanding season this year. Don't forget to watch the homecoming game right here on Cable 18 next Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, at 5 p.m. The boys' varsity soccer team went undefeated throughout the season, only to play their arch rival in the playoffs. Shawnee handed East its first loss last Friday in the NJSIAA tournament, and the final score there was 3-1. The lone goal by East was scored by senior Jason Koenig. East was drilled again by Shawnee in overtime with a disheartening loss of 3-1 on Saturday in the coaches tournament. Congratulations to the entire soccer team on a fabulous season. Congratulations to seniors Jason Koenig, Todd Block, Martin and Andrew Jensen, Tony DeCesar, Mike Britchko, and Dave Pactois. With homecoming approaching, I feel it is time to make a football prediction. Weighing all the options, I believe East will defeat West by a score of 35-14, carried by Scott Pueller and quarterback Ben Steinberg. And now back to Tejal in the studio.
Thanks, Randy. And just a few reminders. The sophomore ring assembly will be held this Monday, November 22nd. And first marking period ended November 12th. Report cards will be issued Tuesday, November 23rd. Now back over to Karen.
That's it for the news tonight. Special thanks to Mr. Gordon Hampson, cameraman and editor, Mr. Keith Haynes, advisor, and to our student camera people, Monica Werler, Brad Nation, Charles Puslicki, Eric Fralin, John McClary. Thank you for joining Tejal Patel and Randy Saperstone and me, Karen Elkos, this evening. Stay tuned for the highlights of East and West girls gymnastics, which follows the junior high school news. Tonight we leave you with Ophelia, who has lots of school spirit. Good night, Ophelia. Woof.
Good evening and welcome to the West Report. I'm Ed Devlin.
And I'm Terry Manuzak. Last Friday night, the 11th annual Mr. West pageant was held in the auditorium. The 13 contestants had to compete in 4 categories: a talent competition, casual wear, swimwear, and formal wear. The participants were Lee Horvitz, Mr. Chutzpah, Josh Carr, Mr. Crazy, Brian Fegley, Mr. Brain, Lee Gitzes, Mr. No Chance, Brian Kane, Mr. Big Melons, Mike Kreza, Mr. Far Out, Ian Holmes, Mr. Furry Furley, Mike Gismondi, Mr. Boots, and the 5 finalists, Dave Marika, Mr. Quixotic, Rick Claus, Mr. Shakespeare, Scott Grazer, Mr. Temptation, Louis Castillo, Mr. 18 Carat, and our winner, Mr. Debonair, Josh Cohen. The finalists and winner were chosen by 15% audience vote and a panel of 5 judges, including Ms. Peg Kiefner, Mrs. Margie Mattes, Ms. Eileen McElroy, Mr. Steve Schnell, and Mr. Rich Surface. I had a chance to speak with the new Mr. West earlier today. I'm here in the studio with Mr. West 1994, Josh Cohen. Welcome, Josh.
Hi, Terry.
Why did you choose to compete in Mr. West 1994?
I thought it would be a really fun experience, and I would get to perform with a bunch of my friends, so I decided to do it.
What made you choose the Harry Connick Jr. number for your talent competition?
Well, I decided I wanted to be Mr. Debonair and do some kind of classy theme, so I visioned Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dancing to jazz music and black and white movies, and picked Harry Connick's Jr. We Are in Love. I really liked the sound and the effects in that song.
Okay. What were some memorable moments during the rehearsals or during the show?
When I was doing all the tricks with the cane during rehearsal, I got really into it, and I started to get more involved in what I was doing. And finally, at the dress rehearsal, when we had a little bit of an audience, I really got to act it up and play it out. So.
Okay. What do you plan to do during your reign here as Mr. West?
I think by being Mr. West, I'll be able to expand my role in the West community a little further, and maybe meet a few more people that I may not have had the chance to meet if I hadn't gotten this new role.
Okay, thank you. Now back to you, Ed.
With the fall sports coming to an end this season, it looks as if the girls' cross-country team finished with a great season. This season was the first time the girls had ever had a winning record. The team finished with a 5-2 record. I had a chance to speak with the team's coach, Mr. O'Donnell, and he commented, "The team far exceeded my expectations for the year. In fact, we were so good that I'm hoping that we can go to state finals next year." The team was led by sensational sophomore Jen Jennings. Things look as if they could only get better with the top 10 runners returning next year. And here's Dave with the rest of this week's sports.
Well, here's my fall wrap-up of the year. The West varsity football team was defeated by Woodrow Wilson last Saturday, 31-0. The Lions are now preparing for their Thanksgiving Day battle against the Cherry Hill East Cougars. And in winter sports, practices begin this week. I will keep you up to date how the teams look. Now for my prediction of the week. In the Eagles-Giants contest, I picked the Eagles in an upset, 21-10. They're going to turn it around this week. So keep watch as Herschel Walker runs for over 100 yards. That's right, their 1,000-yard rusher is coming back. Well, that's all the sports. Now back to the West Report.
This weekend, Friday and Saturday evenings, November 19th and 20th, at 8 o'clock in Cherry Hill West Auditorium, Reader's Theater will present 4 short stories. The Possibility of Evil, The Lottery, both by Shirley Jackson, The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Cano, and The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. So please come out and support Reader's Theater this weekend.
On Monday, the Performing and Visual Arts Society held auditions for its annual PAVIS ceremony. PAVIS holds a ceremony where seniors from the Performing and Visual Arts Honors Society perform various activities. This audition is followed by a ritualistic induction process where Mr. Cologne and Mrs. Niesner choose people to be in the society. On November 30th at 7:30 p.m., the actual ceremony will occur, where the students will perform their acts. This event will be open to all public, and there will be refreshments in the library afterward. PAVIS hopes you will come and enjoy this important ceremony. And now here's reporter Richard Lovejoy with a report from ROTC.
Thursday, ROTC cadets will participate in the annual Dining Out. This event focuses on teaching etiquette and manners. If an ROTC cadet makes an error in protocol or breaks one of the Dining Out's rules, they are sent to the Grog Bowl. The Grog Bowl is a mixture of many barely edible, bad-tasting food products. Non-ROTC members can come if invited, but be aware, anyone can go to the Grog Bowl.
Last Saturday, the music department hosted a spaghetti dinner. From 6 to 8 p.m., parents and students alike enjoyed the sound of great music and great pasta. The students participating were trying to earn their way for a trip to Florida next spring. Men of Note and jazz band and small vocal groups performed in making the dining experience one to remember. The menu included salad, bread, and spaghetti. And speaking of things that are Italian, here's Teresa with the story of our Italian visitors.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. On November 11th, Mr. Simon and Mrs. Lapidow Johnson participated in an important gift-giving between West and a school from the Italian town of Frosinone. The principal, Mr. Sordi, and a teacher from the school, Mrs. Rosa Iso, gave a plaque on behalf of the exchange students that came from Frosinone and said it was a symbol of the exchange of cultures. Another important gift given to West was the Frosinone coat of arms. Mr. Simon and Mrs. Lapidow Johnson also gave a plaque on behalf of our school and a special West t-shirt. The two teachers said they were glad to be part of such an important event and to learn about our school and culture. The plaque and coat of arms will always have their own spots here at West.
Thank you for watching the West Report. Please join us again next week.
Good night.
Good night.